is the world's population day, July the 11th. Nigeria joins the rest of the world. Of course, you heard in the news, Nigeria will be among the world's top 5 most populous country between the year 2030 and 2050. The figure is will be around 400 million. Well, that looks some time. Some of us won't be around by then, but quite a lot of people will still be around. So that's how we're going to get this conversation up and running. Let's cross over to Abuja studios with Dr. Emmanuel Abanida, who is consultant to the Partnership for Child and Family Health, a project funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Good morning, Doctor. It's good to have you on the program.
Yes, good morning.
Thanks
very much.
Thanks, it's good to see you. Let's kick off this conversation. When you look, as a medical practitioner and a healthcare professional, when you look at Nigeria's population rising very sturdily, average 2.8% on an annual basis, what comes to your mind when you see children on the street hawking goods and providing some services out of school, and you look at the impact of the Northeast, Boko Haram, insurgency, children and women in the camps? What comes to your mind?
What comes to my mind actually is future catastrophe that is just building up now, and there will imagine into a scenario where we'll have a lot of children that are going to develop in the country with very poor economy, with extremely very poor health and very poor wealth. Except something is done about it, huge population with resource constraint in an environment where a lot of challenges, apart from health, other security issue challenges and other parallel challenges are very grave. And so what comes to my mind is that we cannot maintain such a huge population with the resources we have and with the all sort of developmental challenges that we have.
Very apt and straight to the point. So, on this day, in 2012, Nigeria was part of the London Summit, and we made some commitments to increase our investment of financing into family planning. Have we met these commitments? Have we failed?
Nigeria have not met this commitment fully. You recall that the 2012 London Summit was a global assemblage to see how the whole world will be able to reduce the unmet need of about 120 million people worldwide and 69 resource-constrained nations, to enjoy family planning services. Nigeria made definite commitment at that summit, and they developed a blueprint. One was to ensure that we increase our family planning contraceptive period rate, that is, number of women who are supposed to be using family planning commodities, increase from the present level of 15 to about 36% in 2018. Secondly, while we have to do that one using, of course, we need resources to do that. Nigeria is supposed to put in about $11 million from the commitment we made in 2012 annually to family planning, so that will be matched also by whatever resources we get from the development partners. States are also supposed to put in money annually, at least about $8 million, so that when we put all of them together and we get resources from the development partners, then we will be able to achieve the objectives of the 2012 summit and the objective of the Nigerian family planning strategy. But we have not done that. We have not made that. Efforts have been made, but the efforts are just not enough to make sure that, to ensure that we achieve the target we are setting for ourselves, 2020, 2030, and 2050. You did mention that by 2050, Nigeria is estimated to have a population of almost go to 500 million, making it the 3rd largest country in the world. The rate at which we are going, if nothing is done to look at the issue of the population, especially of the family planning, it's going to be catastrophic.
Dr. Abanida, we are having this conversation about family planning in a country where social, cultural, religious beliefs and leanings run very deep. In Nigeria, you don't count the number of children that you have. In some other parts of the country, it's very difficult to determine or tell people not to have more children. How do we escape this kind of cul-de-sac where we find ourselves? Or do you think our failure in Nigeria to have spent this money into, or this investment in family planning since 2012 was because even at the very top political level, there was this social, cultural, deep-seated religious beliefs about family planning?
Well, Nigeria is a member of the Community of Nations, and if you look at countries within the sub-region and countries around the world that have same socio-cultural settings and background as Nigeria, we look at Saudi Arabia, for instance, we look at Kenya, we look at countries like, South Africa, Ghana, all of them, they also have similar socio-cultural setting. There, we know that religious bent and cultural bent in Nigeria precludes people from disclosing the number of the children they have, and we believe that we must, by nature, Nigeria is a pronatalist country. But you see, we cannot run away. There must be a shift of that paradigm. We must change, and we need continuous education and advocacy to tell people that we cannot continue to have the number of children we are having, and by so doing, truncating their future development and growth. That's not going to be very good. We have already started conversation across all borders and across all frontiers to make sure that religious groups and cultural groups, tribal groups, understand the essence of controlling the family. Not that you don't have your children, but have your children at a planned time, have your children well spaced, and then, of course, you reduce the number of children you have with modern facilities to ensure that children survive above 1 year, above 5 years, which was the usual thing in those days when many of the children will die before they reach the age of 1 or age of 5. Then if you have 4 children now, you are very sure that with a strong economy and with strong health facilities and infrastructure, the children can grow to adulthood, and they will be better for it as a nation. So we just have to change. We continue putting the pressure. It's not easy to change this behavioral attitude and patterns that people already enjoy, but the resonance that we are having is that we will make it happen. It should happen.
Doctor, in terms of the next summit taking place in London in the next a couple of days, do you think part of what the commitments were in 2012